All right, ladies and gentlemen. So last time we learned about double angles. Today we're going to learn about half angles. So over here, where I'm starting out, these are the formulas for half angles. Okay, so sine x over 2. So let's say we're cutting the angle in half. Use the first formula. Okay, so let me just highlight it in different colors. So here's your formula for half of sine. It involves a cosine with a minus inside of it. Here's the formula for cosine. It also has a cosine, but that one has a plus inside of it. And then down here is the formula for tangent. Okay, you could use either one of these two, doesn't matter. Now I'm going to rewrite these formulas in a way that's easier to work with. So for example, you still need the plus minus, and I'll tell you why it's plus minus later. I'm going to simplify the inside to 1/2 times, and then in parentheses 2 over 2 minus cosine x. Okay, that's just simplifying the inside of the square root. And then you can do the same thing for the cosine. So equals plus minus the square root of 1/2 2 over 2 plus cosine x. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing that is because when we figure out the value of cosine, when we figure out the value of cosine, I don't know why I'm still doing that, it's going to be something over 2. So that way it's easier to subtract and add and do all that good stuff. All right, so here's how you handle half angles. I have no idea what sine of 15 degrees is. Okay, but what I'm going to do is going to take the inside, I'm going to try to multiply it by 2, see if it's something I know. So 15 times 2, that gives us 30. So really, this could be rewritten as sine 30 degrees over 2. Well, I know sine 30, so I know that my x is 30 degrees, and now I can use the formula that we have over here. Okay, now because 15, okay, this is the important part. I'll do it in green. Because 15 is on this part of the unit circle, and sine is positive right here, we're going to use the positive version. So normally it'd be plus minus the square root of 1/2 times 1 minus cosine 30 degrees. Okay, cosine 30 degrees. Well, we're going to use the positive version. So use positive. So plus the square root of 1/2 of 1 minus. Now we know cosine 30, that's the square root of 3 over 2. You can use your unit circles, but make sure you start memorizing. Okay, now we can start simplifying. So that one is 2 over 2. So plus square root of 1/2, 2 over 2 minus the square root of 3 over 2. Start combining like terms and do all that good stuff. So this is plus the square root of 1/2. Over here, it's 2 minus the square root of 3 over 2. Now we can multiply the 1/2 in. This would be 2 minus the square root of 3 over 4. Okay, remember, this is all under the square root. And so now this equals the square root of 2 minus the square root of 3 all over the square root of 4, which is 2. So this equals 2 minus the square root of 3 all under square root all over 2. Okay, now it's just a bunch of arithmetic there and like math gymnastics. Okay, so for number 2, we're going to do the same thing. Multiply the inside by 2. So 22.5 times 2, we end up getting 45. Okay, so 45 degrees. That's what's going inside, so we can rewrite this. This is cosine of 22.5, of 45 over 2. So now we know that x equals 45 degrees, so we use the cosine formula. Now, just so you know, cosine 22.5 is, again, somewhere around here. So cosine is positive over here, so we use the positive version. So positive square root. Okay, we can use the formula we already rewrote, this one right here. So cosine 1/2, 1/2 and under the square root of 2 over 2 plus cosine 45. Okay, and so then from here, we start working our magic. So it'd be plus the square root of 1/2. This is going to be 2 over 2 plus cosine 45 is the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, now combine all your like terms. So this would be 1 over 2, don't forget all into the square root of 2 plus the square root of 2 over 2. Multiply the fraction, so this would be 2 plus the square root of 2 all over 4. And now simplify. So equals positive square root. Actually, let me just, the square root of the bottom is just 2. So 2 plus the square root of 2 all over 2. Okay, and there's your answer for that one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So for sine 202.5, one, we know that this is somewhere over here, because if this is 180, this is 202.5. So sine is going to be negative. So sine is negative, because it's below the x-axis. Now, to fix this, well, 202.5 times 2, always multiply the inside times 2, see if you can work it out, would be 405.0. Well, okay, we multiply it times 2, but that's way beyond 360. So let's just subtract 360 to get it to something we can work with. So that conveniently ends up being 45 degrees. So now we know that this is actually sine 45 degrees over 2. So now we know that x equals 45 degrees. And now we use the sine formula. We're going to use the negative version because we're on the negative side of the unit circle. So that's going to be negative square root of 1/2, 2 over 2 minus because it's the sine formula of cosine 45 degrees. Okay, and now you just run it the same way. So negative square root of 1 over 2 of 2 over 2 minus cosine 45, square root of 2 over 2. Now simplify. So this would be 2 minus the square root of 2 all over 2, because you just combine the fractions. Minus, now distribute the 1/2 into everything. So this would be 2 minus the square root of 2 over 4. Okay, and then finally simplify. So equals negative square root. Sorry, the square root's too big. Square root of 2 minus the square root of 2 all over 2, because the square root is, square root of 4 is 2. And we're done with that. Okay, now tangent 67.5. So tangent 67.5, again, multiply times 2. So 67.5 times 2, that's 135. Okay, that's very convenient because now we have the formula for tangent. The formula for tangent, well, first this is tangent 135 over 2. So now we know that x equals 135. The formula for tangent was 1 minus cosine of x, which is 135, all over sine of 135. And so now we will use our unit circle to figure this out. So this is going to be 1 minus cosine 135 is negative square root of 2 over 2. And then sine 135 is also the square root of 2 over 2, but positive. And now we can just simplify. So this is 2 over 2 minus negative square root of 2 over 2. Negative square root of 2 over 2. Simplify. The tops can be subtracted. So the top would be 2 plus square root of 2 all over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2. Here we can do the old flip and switch. So flip it, bring it to the top. So this ends up being 2 plus the square root of 2 over 2 times 2 over square root of 2. 2's cancel. So our final answer is 2 plus the square root of 2 all over the square root of 2. We can rationalize this. So I'll rationalize in blue. Rationalize. So times square root of 2 over square root of 2. So the bottom simplify to just 2. And the top would be, you do a little bit of distributive property. This would become 2 square root of 2 times 2. And so, plus 2. Okay, now here you can factor out a 2 out of the top. So that's 2. This is just a bunch of algebra at this point. Cancel that. So your final answer is the square root of 2 plus 1. Okay, but the general idea is the same. You just literally plug it in here and then you just do a bunch of algebra to fix it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next page is for you. I will be in class to help you if you need anything. Good luck, and I'll see you all next time.